So I want to do a little test today and see okay, so here's what we have. The 60 millimeter with the fabric cut blade. We have a 45 millimeter with a fabric cut blade. We have a 45 millimeter Fisker's blade and a 45 millimeter utility blade. So we're just going to see how all these work. So here's the rules of my game. We're going to start with one cut. We'll go through everything and there'll be an elimination. We'll go through all four and the one that performs the least will be set aside. And then we'll increase as we go along. So right here I have 3 layers of fabric. And this shouldn't be a problem. And I'm just going to cut a 1-inch piece. These little 1-inch pieces are great to save for different crafting ideas, if you do any rope wrapping. I'm kind of into that lately. Or, other gift wrapping, things like that. So we're going to start with the large 60 millimeter. And of course, that goes through like a breeze. I would have expected that. Now, again, we have a fabric cut blade in a 45 millimeter cutter. And this is my quick release, which I really like. And that one cuts great. And now my Fiskars. Like I said, I'm just not real keen on that retractable cover. I don't feel like it sets in. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's a very stiff piece to work. But it cuts. We can't complain. And then this is just a general utility blade. You can see I have paper on the back, so I know if I need to cut paper, cardboard, anything like that, then I'm going to use this blade. And it cuts as well. So everybody did good. All right, we'll do one more. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to fold this up. So now we have 6 layers. There we go. And I've got that pretty well folded up. And we'll just do the 1-inch again. So we have the big blade, the 60 millimeter with the fabric cut. And then I have the 45 millimeter fabric cut blade in my nifty quick release. I really like this cutter. There we go. That went through. Let's try our Fiskars. Not quite. Have to really push and get down there. Okay. So far that one's going out. And then what do we have here? We have our... There we go. Our 45 millimeter utility blade. Well, hey, it held up pretty good. So let's do one more. So this was 6. We're going to double it and go to 12. So I'm actually going to turn it this way so we can see that I'm folding it up. I'm going to cut from the other side. So we have 12 layers. Make sure not that it matters if we're straight, that's just such a habit. Okay, now the big blade, 60 millimeter fabric cut blade, works like a charm. And our 45 millimeter fabric cut blade does great. And then our utility blade, let's see how we do. Well, we'd have to go through a second time to get that through, but it didn't quite do it. So definitely these two, great for utility, great for, using on paper, things like that. But if you want clean cuts on your fabric, this is not going to do the trick. Okay, so that's regular fabric. Let's try something else. All right, we know these blades can cut through fabric, and there wasn't any doubt there to begin with. But we now have 16 pieces of this really fun bandana fabric in different colors. I'm ultimately going to cut them in charm squares, but right now we're going to trim some salvages and cut some fabric. Right now we're just going to trim the salvage and see what we can do. So I'm going to start with my 45 millimeter. I know this easily goes through 12 layers of fabric, and I have used it on more, but let's see what we can do here. Will it take these 16 pieces? Remember, hands firm. Ooh, that's hard. Okay, it got through most of it. I got my 12, but I didn't quite get the whole thing. So that's the size of the blade. it cut great through its 12 layers like I would expect. But if we want to go through even more, let me trim off some of these pieces. If we want to get through all 16 of these, let's see, I'm going to cut these at 2.5. Well, might as well make some use out of this and come up with some wonderful patterns. Now for the 60 millimeter blade. Let's see how well this one goes through all 16 layers. And because the blade is bigger, if you look at this up close, you can see how much more blade there is to here. So this can go in deeper than this one does. And I think that's why this one is going to work so well here. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? Wow, that cut right through like there was nothing there. Okay, big blades make a difference. I want to show you the cut. Look at that. Look at how nice and straight and even that cut is. Now, the first one, you can see how jagged it is because that blade couldn't run straight through. You see how some of those pieces are offset and they're not perfectly straight. Now, is it going to be critical? Maybe not huge, but when you get pieces like this that don't cut, that's problematic. You know, we get a little fussy with our quilts and we want it to be as well made as possible. But let me just show you this here. I am so amazed at the beautiful cuts all the way down to the bottom. Look at that. Not a single snag or missed piece or missed thread, no jagged lines. It did a beautiful job. So 16 layers of fabric, you know what you need. Not just the wide cutter, but this fabric cut blade really makes a difference.